All right, everyone. How are you? It's Bob back again, Biker News Canada. Special day tonight. I'm going to start doing live interviews on Thursday nights, right around 8 p.m. We're coming a little bit early today. And I got with me in the studio a very special guest and a great guy, Wayne Sumbler, and his dog, Austin. How are you, Wayne?
Very good.
It was good to meet you finally, bro. I like all the stuff that you're doing out there. You're doing out there doing good for the community. And as I mentioned, that's the stuff I want to stay with on this Biker News channel. We can get into the blood and gore on somebody else's channel. We don't need it. So, Wayne, let's talk about your scooter. So you ride a scooter and not a motorcycle. Let's talk about
Exactly.
that.
Okay, so as I was talking about a little bit earlier, I went to go get. Okay, so how it started was I was looking for a Stella scooter with a sidecar, and I couldn't find one. They had some for sale in the U.S., but they were a different beast. And so anyway, I went to Old Vintage Cranks. I heard that he had one, and um, and it was his own private collection. So what happened was I says, well, hey, you want to sell the Stella? Because my wife's name is Stella, right? So and he says, no, I don't want to sell it. I says, oh, come on, it's the same color as their car. And he said, no. I says, come on, we got married in Acton, had our kids in Acton. So and he says, oh, okay, I feel bad now. So anyway, he sold it to me, and it's been love at first sight for both Stellas.
Is it like an older model or is it kind of newish?
It's a 2014 model. It's not as old as everybody thinks it
Newish.
is, and it's not a
Yeah.
Vespa, even though I'm a member of the Vespa Club of Canada and Vespa Club of Victoria, BC, and Vespa Club of Niagara. So
And how long has Austin been riding with you?
he's been riding with me, what, 3.5 years now, I think. So
Was
when I first got it and I stuck him in the sidecar, I took him around the court about going maybe about 10, I don't know, about 10 kilometers an hour. And I put a leash on and tie him to the window. And we drove first time, it wasn't a problem. So, and then when I finally got my M2, then I took my wife out and I took her at about 50 kilometers an hour, and she said, "Oh, I want to go faster." So we went down to Hockley, down Hockley Road, and I says, "It's 70 kilometers an hour minimum there, right?" She says, "Yeah, that'll be great." So, and then that's how we got started. Yeah, and it's 150 cc 4-stroke. And again, like a lot of people think it's a lot older, and it's not. So,
it looks like a classic Vespa, doesn't it?
pardon?
It looks like a classic Vespa.
Oh yeah, it does. It
Yeah.
does. But it's made in India, so
Well, there you go. Well, it doesn't matter. Now, what else was I going to ask you? Now, have you had Austin since he was a baby, or is he a rescue?
nope. We got him 2 weeks before the we got him in Alliston 2 weeks before the Leafs played the Washington Capitals in the playoffs, and I named him after Austin Matthews. With don't call a Humane Society on that. But and then my neighbor says, "Well, I thought you were going to call him Bauer," and Stella liked the name Austin, so we call him Austin Bowers, not Powers.
Well, there you go. Actually,
Yeah,
that's a good play on words, isn't it?
yeah, and he's 7 years old, so he's a millennial.
What breed is he?
He's a mini schnoodle.
Oh, I never even heard of that one.
Yep,
So
yep.
you do tons of work or a fair bit of work. I see on your post for the local. Is it called the SPCA or is it called the Humane
Orangeville SP,
Society?
yeah, it's SPCA, but it's Orangeville SPCA. But it all goes to the SPCA. So
Oh, so like even if you were doing stuff for the Humane Society, that it would end up in the same place, or they're different
uh,
animals.
it still ends up the same place. But
Okay,
yeah, it's still SPCA. So I mean, because they have cats and dogs, right? So yeah.
I get. Okay, I see what you mean. Which is, you're right down my alley because anyone who does stuff, especially for dogs, but all animals, is good in my books. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I hope you've get lots of success. I
Oh,
see you
Austin.
now. Is he getting wiggly?
Wave, Austin.
Hi, buddy. He's a cool looking guy, isn't he? I like Austin. Now, now you haven't. What do you do most of your social media on? Instagram or Facebook or
No,
both?
I use Instagram. I've used Twitter, which is now X, and Facebook, and yeah, and different things with um, like Instagram. So there's actually two. There's one, and there's the regular one, and then there's the other one, like it's sort of, I don't know, I can't remember what it's called, but I have lots of people following me there too. Actually, I'm up to 1,870 followers right now, I think.
Wow, that's a lot. I didn't
Yep.
really gain much traction on Instagram for whatever reason, but I'm fairly new still. I only
Yeah.
started last winter, so
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm still cutting my teeth on all this stuff. And and how do people find you on Instagram? Just search Wayne Sumbler,
Yep. Just go under Wayne Sumbler or
and then
WJ Sumbler, either one.
either or. Okay, okay, that's cool. Now you have an event coming up for what is it? A scooter club? You said I
Well,
saw
yeah,
it on the post.
I call it the Orangeville Scooter Society, which is actually the letters OSS, which is not the Ontario Secret Service, by the way. So it's coming up June the 29th, and we're leaving from Orangeville SPCA, which is in town, and then we're going to go from there. We're going to go to Higher Ground Cafe in Bell Fountain, and then we're going to go down Forks of the Credit, and then we're going to head over to at Hockley General Store, and then back here, and it's a $5 charge, and there'll also be a half and half draw too.
Nice. Nice,
So
nice. Now, is it only scooters you want or
no,
anyone on two
no,
wheels?
no, no. Anything that's got wheels, either two or three.
Oh, it's three in yeah, three in your case, of course. Yeah, yeah. I forgot about that. So
Yeah.
so that's cool. So good. I'll make sure I get that on some more videos as it
Yep.
gets closer to the date. And
Okay.
I hope you for the best success. The big loud Harleys don't scare Austin.
Pardon?
The big loud Harleys don't scare Austin.
No, no.
He's good.
Some of the loud ones if he's right beside him, but I mean I've driven beside Harleys, so he's good with it.
Good. Good man.
The only
You-
time that mine wanted to be sort of a Harley was when I lost my muffler.
Now I got a street glide and it sits in my garage because I'm working all day and I'm working all night and I'm trying to keep the channel on to go. I'm almost jealous of seeing all the posts you get around.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I still have to go to I'm going to Paris with the Headwaters Vintage Motorcycle Group. That's coming up Father's Day, or Father's Day weekend. So I'm going to be heading up there on Friday, and I might probably be going on the Saturday as well. And then I have to drive with the Niagara Regional Vespa Club September the 14th. So I'll be going down to Niagara Falls again. And it was funny because when we were in Niagara Falls, I took my cousin and he's actually vice president of their motorcycle club. And he says, Wayne, don't you post any pictures on Facebook because he says they're going to laugh their butts off. Right. So anyway, I didn't have to because his wife did. and he was sitting in a sidecar and he's going to do it again this year. And then some of the comments were like, okay, Rodney, are you going to now sell your truck and get yourself a little smart car? Are you going to trade your motorcycle in for a scooter now? Excuse the language, but then said, oh my God, Rodney, you're riding bitch with Wayne in Austin. So, and then I had my cousin and my other cousin, she's 74 years old. So I rode with her in Welland and my aunt as well. And then my other cousin, we met her in Niagara Falls, and she was a little bit wary at first, right? So, and it was packed in Niagara Falls. So anyway, put her in it, and we went right down Lundy's Lane and the whole bit, and it's just I says, how do you like it? She says, oh my God, I feel like such a celebrity. Everybody's taking pictures and honking their horns and waving at us. She says, I really feel like a celebrity. I says, hey, that's my day every day. So
Well, I tell you, it's a cool looking setup when you got you and the dog. So anyone who's watching this, whether it's live or you watch it later taped, you got to go check out Wayne's accounts because it's a great looking whole setup with the scooter and the sidecar. It looks awesome. Now, how do you get down these long distances? Are you can it go on the 4-lane highways?
no, okay, it's 150 cc, right? So I can only do like I can do Highway 10, but I can't do 410. So I have to stay off 400 highways, Queenie, anything like that. So I take the side roads usually. So
So you got to
um,
pick your route.
yeah. In fact, when I went to Niagara Falls last year, I missed a way going, and or I missed one of the minor highways, and it should have taken me about 3.5 hours, but I ended up going through the lower bridge in Burlington, so it took me like 5 hours. But I always make sure, and I've got lots of room to put gas in the thing, so and it's cheap on gas, so
Yeah, 150 cc. Yeah, that'd be all right.
yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. So you got to pick your routes and you got to know it's going to take you longer and you go for
Oh yeah, yeah.
it. Like that's a
The
long
fastest
ride.
the fastest I ever got on the thing was Stella and Austin and I were going to Barrie, and we were going down Highway 27, right? And and there was a really steep hill, right? So all of a sudden I looked down and I cracked 110. But with her extra weight plus the wind behind her back, but going uphill it drops down to about 50. So
but isn't that sidecar? It's pretty low to the ground, no? Or is it not that
uh,
low?
no, there's a fair amount of room underneath it.
I was
I
going to
don't know.
say it would appear to the passenger you're probably going faster than you are.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, because you're not up like on a motorcycle. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. It would be a different experience riding in a sidecar. That's something I've never experienced. Now, you also have some books that you published along the way, right?
Yeah. Oh, I want to make one note, by the
Oh,
way.
go
I
ahead.
don't have the pitch. I don't have the picture of it here, but we're main contributor with motorcycling with Fido. You can go into the Facebook page, Motorcycling with Fido. It's an awesome site. You only need two things: a dog and a motorcycle. And so anyway, they do an article once a month. We were in the February issue of and actually it was page 13, and it's a free online magazine. It's Virginia Rider, and you can check the issues out. And every month they do a one off that's called Rough Rider. So so anyway, we are the only Canadians and the only scooter in Virginia Magazine. And they go through his books and where you can buy Austin's books and my books, like they're all on Amazon. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, I'm sitting there like, wow. So,
Now,
but
when you went out and got the scooter and the sidecar and all that, you obviously already thought that you tried the dog on it, right?
yeah,
Now, did you already have it in mind that you were going to use it for like these special events and all these things, or did you
yes,
just buy it because you wanted one?
no, I did because I wanted one, but I had in mind that need the three of us, and I was going to be looking at different events. So, and then I hooked up with the Vespa Club of Canada and Niagara Vespa Club, and yeah, so
That's pretty cool. A friend of mine actually from Sarnia way has got a heritage softail with a sidecar, and he was talking to me the other day. It might be coming up for a raffle this summer to
oh,
help
I
out
think I heard about
MS.
that.
Yeah, so if it does, I'll 100%. I'll put on the show and I'll send you some details too privately because we've talked over chat for a while now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like I gotta kind of get to know a person a little bit
yeah.
before we get on the camera and start. So, what's your name? You know what I mean? It makes for a boring interview. Hmm. So yeah, so we mentioned that you got some books now. What got you into doing the books?
Okay, well, the first one, I mean, I'm a classic rock fan. I don't listen to anything except classic rock, and I've seen a lot of bands. And but anyway, a friend of mine plays in a band called Rise Again, and I was basically his unpaid roadie the one night. So my wife and I went to go see them play, and they're actually a really good band. They do some awesome tunes. Like, oh, Freebird is their best.
Yeah. So were they
Yeah.
at 60s, 70s?
Uh, yeah, all 70s music. I mean,
70s.
I do listen to some 80s too, but mostly 70s, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, we came home and it was around, I don't know, 1 in the morning or something like that. And I got up to cook. So what happened was I was a little bit tired, so I went and got one of those Rockstar drinks and the energy drink. So
Yeah.
I started cooking, and all of a sudden my buddy comes down. He says, "What the heck are you doing?" He says, "You're cooking like for 8 people, and there's only 4 of us here." And I says, "Well, it's this Rockstar drink." And I actually held up the can and I showed him. He says, "Oh my God!" He says, "So he's oh, awesome. You just dropped off your helmet." But anyway,
Oh,
so anyway, he says, "You know what? You really should write a book, right?" And I thought, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So anyway, I thought about it for a few weeks and I said, I think I'm going to call it Sex, Drugs, and Pots and Pans. And 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 he's quite religious. He says, "Oh, I don't think that's a very good name." And then all of a sudden, he called me back about a week later. He says, "You know what? That's a really catchy name." I says, "Yeah, no one's ever done a cookbook like this, like ever." Um, it's if you really saw the book, it's like Weird Al Yankovic writing a cookbook. So
so
yeah,
you make a parody of the dish's name that matches up to a classic rock song. Is that right?
yeah, exactly, yeah, yeah. So like for example, with Rush, I've got closer to the tarts. I have We Are the Champions, stuffed pork mellow mushrooms. I've got humble pie. Geez, I've got Rolling Stones with brown sugar. I've got everything in there, like literally from AC/DC right down to Zeppelin zucchini sticks, Deep Purple stuffed eggplant, and yes, we're going to see Deep Purple, and I got a book for them in August. Um, and it ends up with a shout out to Cheech and Chong because
Beautiful.
I got up and smoked lobster. So but and it's
Nice.
it's a really fun book. I play around with the lyrics a little bit. Like I've got for example, Alice Cooper. I've got No More Mr. Rice Guy, Spanish Fried Rice. Uh, I've got I got Black Sabbath in there. I've got everybody. So
So you put some thought into this thing.
oh yeah, that's why it took me so long. It took me 3 years. So
I've heard that the cookbook's one of the hardest books to write.
it is. It is. Austin's is easy. And
What are Austin's books?
okay, so Austin, and I'll show them in a few seconds.
Sure.
So Austin, his first book was Austin the Sidecar Dog Saves Christmas, and basically it's a story of Santa Claus. His reindeer is sick. He's lost his sleigh. So guess what? He's got to borrow the scooter with the sidecar. So him and Austin they go traveling off and around the world. So they go to Paris. They go to Egypt. They go to London, England. So there's Big Ben in there. They go down to Panama. They go to Toronto. And then yeah, so he returns home, and it's really funny because a friend of mine says, you really need to have a real picture of you. So I went to my illustrator who's from Philadelphia, and I says, can you take this picture and put us into a snow globe? And actually she did. And actually I can show that. Uh,
There it is.
there.
That's a great picture, man.
Yeah.
And that's
And
done by an illustrator.
pardon?
That's done by an illustrator. It's hand
Yeah.
drawn.
Yeah, I write the stories and I just give her the ideas. I'll send her some pictures. For example, I would send her a picture of for example, the CN Tower, and then she developed from there. She's actually done some work for Netflix and Disney. So yeah, she's really really good. And the other one, of course, is Austin Sidecar Dog Saves a Whale, and yeah, Here, Austin, I think I can put you down for a sec. Okay, you're getting a little on the
Okay.
heavy side. Here you go.
Bye, buddy.
Yeah. So yeah, this one here. Whoop.
And that way, yeah.
Uh,
Very
so
cool.
yeah, and the cool thing is that I'm actually a character in this one. So we actually saved this beached orca, and it's pregnant. Whoops.
Man, these are cool looking books,
Yeah.
man.
And
Very wild.
I'm actually, yeah. So we go under the sea. Yeah.
Hey, there's where the globe came in,
And guess what? The first one I wasn't a character in. This
right?
one, oops, this one I am.
You get to be in this one. You're on the beach, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and actually, I dedicated to one of our actually two of our fallen riders. Whoops, what happened there?
We had a little glitchy, but
Sorry.
you're back.
I dedicated to Jamie. Yeah, I dedicated to Jamie Ferris and Lola Gurnak, who were two fallen riders, which actually happened. It was last May 11th. So, in fact, we had a big ride. There must have been over 70 motorcycles. We went down to like it was a memorial ride, and so I dedicated this book to him. So, and his family, they were tears over it. So, but
Oh, that's really cool, man.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and of course
Oh,
with all it used to be the Quanger. They're going with a different name, I think. But the real funny thing is that Austin was their unofficial mascot. He literally was. So, but
so
yeah.
he's getting great publicity, Austin.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Is he loving it?
Oh, he loves it. He loves it. I market him very well. So
No, he's a cool dog. He's all the photos. He looks like he's enjoying himself, being chill.
yeah, oh yeah.
You saw your hairdresser saying hi to him, and the person from the SB. Lots of people saw him get to say hi to him. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know what? He's actually had um probably about 40,000 pictures taken of him. And I'm not exaggerating. He's like even today, he's probably had, 10 today, and he's probably had about 40,000. Like he's a worldwide sensation, actually, to me.
Where'd you get the helmet for him that fit him?
So I got that in Amazon, and I didn't bring his jacket down. But he's actually got two vests. He's got the two bikers vests, and one actually I got through Amazon, and I got a bunch of patches for it. And his first one I got, actually it's called Rockstar Puppy Boutique. They're in the States. And
Okay.
she felt bad because it was a really late delivery, so she gave it to me for nothing. She said, I'm not going to even charge it for this. So,
Well, the good
but
thing is you can give her a shout out. She got some publicity.
oh yeah. So, but
that's
no,
not a bad thing.
and she's a lovely woman too. She's just a lovely woman. But
She makes them all by hand.
yeah, well, yeah, she does. I don't know if she makes all of them by hand. Sometimes she orders it, like some parts of it, maybe.
Right.
But yeah. So, and
Well,
if you go into Rockstar Puppy Boutique, you'll see what they've got, and then you can go into there'll be motorcycle gear and stuff like that. So, for
I bet
dogs.
you that'd be a cool niche market to get into.
I know you can't find anything like that in Canada. But at least now with Amazon, you can get different things, right? But
Yeah.
not his first one you can't, right? Because it's denim. So
Oh, that's pretty cool, man.
and it even has a hood on it for the colder days.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So you got them all hooked up. You got them all outfitted and ready for the ride and all that anyway, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. Now, what else? You got to be proud of writing them books. Are they all self-published on Amazon for you? Like writing kids' books and getting them illustrated.
No,
you gotta
actually,
be proud.
yeah. There's Sex, Drugs, and Pots and Pans.
Yeah.
And
That was a great looking book.
it's actually Yeah, it's through Austin Macaulay, but you can also get them on Amazon worldwide and or Amazon Canada. Also, Indigo chapters in Canada as well. You order them, and
Yeah.
yeah, this is pretty cool because, to be honest with you, um, I gave uh, autographed copies to Geddy Lee and Alex Lyson from Rush, and
How'd you
Geddy
get to
actually
meet
sent
them
me a thank
guys?
you letter. Huh?
How'd you get to meet Rush? Or two-thirds
Well,
of
no, I
Rush?
got a hold of their manager and I sent them the books. I mailed it to them, and then all of a sudden I got a letter back from Getty, and he says, "Well, here's the autograph for you." And he says, "I like funny. This is funny, right?" And then we went to go see Ringo Starr, and we were sitting 7 rows from the stage, so he got a copy as well. And also went to see Randy Bachman, 5 seats from the front, and so he got one.
I've
We
met
went to go see,
Randy.
yeah, we went to go see Alice Cooper in Toronto, and he got 2 books, and we were like 17 rows back. Funny thing is, my wife doesn't even like Alice Cooper, and then she was bouncing around and she's singing the songs, and so then I also went to go see Gowan with Sticks in what's called Art Park, and he was like 4 feet from me. I was right at the front of the stage. And and he actually wanted one because I remember when he used to play in Welland with a band called Rheingold. So he says, "Oh my God," he says, "people are still alive that saw Rheingold." I says, "Oh yeah." And then I
I
went to go see.
saw I saw Gowan when he was Gowan.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw him when he was just a youngin'. I was only like 20 years old at that time.
Yeah, I saw
Um,
him as a teenager. So yeah, he
yeah,
did
yeah.
a free concert in the
And
park.
yeah, and then I also went to go see Leonard Skinner and ZZ Top. They got copies, and I went to go see the Doobie Brothers. And now I've got another one for Deep Purple at the Budweiser stage, and we're near the front there too. So
Is that the
yeah,
Budweiser stage in Toronto?
yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay. Because they
So
call it Budweiser stage in London too for some
oh,
reason.
okay, okay,
We
but
got
yeah,
Neil
it's gonna
Young
be.
coming. You should come give one to Neil Young.
Yeah, if I saw him, I haven't seen Neil Young live yet. So
Me
um,
either. They're bringing him to London, I think soon.
are they really? Oh,
Yeah.
I heard he was playing around here somewhere too. I thought.
Well, if he's playing in London, he's got to be hitting other cities in Ontario.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
has to be. I've never seen him live. I wonder if
Yeah.
he's going to break out all of his old stuff. I loved his
Yeah.
old stuff.
I mean, I saw Alice Cooper live back in 74, 75. I also saw Uriah Heep with um actually I think I've got some Uriah Heep ones too, the recipes. I got 1 or 2 of them. And I've got what's it? Manfred Mann's Earth Band.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Blinded
Um
by the light, right?
yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep. And actually, that's going to be my next cookbook because I'm going to have another cookbook I'm working on. It's going to be a little while, but it's called Sex, Drugs, and Pots and Paws for Ladies Only. And Austin's picture is going to be on the cover. He's got a chef hat on. I got my guitar and amp in the background. And yeah, it's going to be a fun one. I've got things like Tina Turnovers, Jagged Little Pillsbury Stuffed Croissants, um, Tragically Hip Steak, things like that. So
Oh,
it's
that's
it's
cool.
it's going to be a fun one. But yeah.
So,
So,
so you're putting it together now.
huh?
You're putting the second one together now.
Well, I started it. I've got maybe 8 recipes. Like I won't have as many recipes as the first one because the first one, like it's 70 pages long. So and yeah, it's pretty sweet actually. I could.
That's like a Martha Stewart size cookbook, isn't it?
No, it's not. But it's smaller.
Okay.
But yeah.
Oh,
So
got photos of the dishes and all.
fry by night liver and onions, and I also have links to the YouTube. So if you look at it, there's actually a link to YouTube, and you can actually go into YouTube, copy that, put it into YouTube, and you can actually watch the bands play. And I thank Vivo and all that kind of stuff. We are the
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, we are the champions. Stuffed portobello mushrooms with cream cheese, shake a leg, um, and the chapter is tasty treats done dirt cheap. Um,
Nice.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch. Lola's broiled lamb chops with wine, honey, and garlic glaze. Yeah, salmon with meat and mustard cream, which is Beatles. Um, what else I got in there? Purple glazed blueberry ham. Shout out to Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah,
Yeah, and whiter shade of kale, chicken and mushroom pot pie.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
What was that
and
band? Poco Harum, right?
yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
roasted, born to be wild turkey.
nice.
So
See,
yeah,
I used to be a disc jockey.
oh, did you? Oh,
Yeah, so
okay.
I know a little bit about music myself.
I even got a shout out to Meatloaf. I've got Paradise by the Oven like Meatloaf. So there, yeah, like I said,
Dude,
there's so many recipes in there. So,
but see, to
yeah.
do all that, you really had to put some thought and effort into it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, it's not just boom. Here's a recipe. You tied it all in. You put in a link. You did all that stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, good for you, man.
Well, I'm creative that way. I mean, I'm an artist. I'm a musician. I got like 6 guitars. Actually, one of them is actually a Toronto Maple Leafs themed guitar, and it was during COVID, and I was trying to find them because the NHL was selling them, and they were $499, but you couldn't get them. They were all sold out. And they weren't making any more. And I saw that they had a Boston one and they had a Montreal one, and they said, nope, sorry, don't have it. So I posted on Facebook. I says, does anyone know where I can get one of these? So there's one guy, a friend of mine on Facebook. In fact, we met him going to see the Stones about 5 years ago now. But he says, Wayne, they got 2 of them over at Marshall's. I says, oh, Marshall amplifiers? He says, no, Marshall's department store. I says, how much are they? He says, $210. I says, what? So I should have ordered 2 because I could have sold the second one. But yeah. Yeah.
So do they sound good till the
So,
spring? Hey, they
huh?
sound good till the spring, and then you got to put them away. I'll tell you one more.
I don't know. Actually, it's funny after the Leafs lost to Montreal, everybody said I was going to burn it on stage like Jimi Hendrix.
Well, poor Leaf fans. Every year they get excited, and every year it's the first round, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
That's a bummer. I've been
That's
watching
why.
Leafs.
That's why I said when I called him Austin Bowers, somebody's going to call a humane society on me and say it's cruel and unusual punishment to a dog.
That's a classic name, and you did a play on words with that name too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you are creative.
Yep. Oh yeah. Well, like I said, I'm also an artist too, so I paint and yeah. So
Let's see, and it's hard to have that artistic vein. See, I
yeah.
remember I had it. I was in until I got out of high school, and then they reprogram you along your way of your life, and you lose. I couldn't draw stickman anymore.
They tried to reprogram me. It doesn't work. My wife's tried to reprogram me a few times. It doesn't work.
I used to do, I did a big jukebox for the Van Halen. So I'm a little bit younger than you. I was Van Halen, right? When I was in high school, right?
Yeah.
The cool Van Halen logo. And my friends were in a band. And do you remember the cover of the album London Calling by The Clash?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it's got the guy smashing his guitar.
Yep.
In silhouette. And I did a big backdrop for their band with their name on it instead of the Clash, right? I did it on a big bed sheet and hung it up, and they were going to play it in my backyard live, and it rained on it and ruined it.
Oh, jeez. Well, it's funny because I've got in my basement, I've got all Beatles 45s, and I've got all under glass, and I've got like brass nameplates, and it's got side A is this and side B is this, when it was recorded, when it was released, and yeah, because I'm also a big Beatles fan too. So and I've got Beatles recipes, like I got Strawberry Fields apple pie, and what else do I have? Oh, what was John Lennon's drink? I can't remember now. His favorite drink. And yeah, so I got 3 there. But
That's
yeah,
cool. And then
yeah.
see what else?
Some there's 2 recipes, some there's 3 recipes, some are 1. So
yeah, well, you can't tie everything together on every band that you like, or you'd be still there writing the same book.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if you're like me, you don't just like a couple bands, you like almost all of them.
Exactly,
You know, there's
exactly.
a good song here, a good song there, and you put them all together, and you're happening, right?
Yeah, and you know what? After all these years, I could still play all of 2112. So,
No way.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Fingers aren't as good as they used to be, especially when you're riding the scooter all the time because your knuckles get a little bit sore. But yeah.
It was a bummer about Alex Lifeson too, wasn't it?
Oh, you mean Neil Peart?
Or, sorry, Neil Peart. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
The master.
The drummer.
Actually, I heard rumors that they're looking at getting their creative juices back together again. So they're looking for a drummer, I think, right now. Um,
Because he was the prog rock drummer that showed all the other progressive rock drummers how to do it.
exactly. Well, he
And
won
man, he
the
was good at
drum
it.
contest on. He won the drum contest best drummer with on David Letterman.
Letterman of all guys.
Hey, have you not seen it?
I don't think so. I
Oh
remember
yeah,
I went. I
go
went
into
once.
go
Go
into
ahead.
David
Sorry.
Letterman and put Neil Peart with it with Neil Peart, and you'll see him. Yeah,
Oh, that's cool. See,
yeah.
back, I can't remember what album it was. They had a big inflatable rabbit on the stage in the mid to late 80s. And we saw Rush at Maple Leaf Gardens. And he was all the way encircled by drums.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just wild. So,
But the only problem was a three-piece band that's that technical is the stage show is they all got to stand in their spot, right?
mm,
Because they're hitting pedals, they're hitting their effects. Getty's got to play and sing, and so it's not like going to Motley Crue where they're watching run across the stage and all that shit, right?
yeah. But for the bands I missed, I've seen some really good tribute bands. Oh, actually, who got my book? The Carpet Frogs. They actually back up Burton Cummings. They still do.
Okay.
And but I saw another a tribute band. It was called Red Raven. They do a Led Zeppelin, and they're really really good. Um, although I missed Jason Bonham, and he was playing at Casino Rama, and I missed it, or I would have been there too. And what was the other one? Amy DC. They played at the motorcycle show. Um, and there's another one I can't remember, but they're pretty good. They're pretty good. So
That's
yeah,
not a bad idea. So one time you have to try to work in some a cool band with a fundraiser for the SPCA.
yep, yep, yep. Actually, what I'm gonna start doing is for the SPCA. I'm gonna go to the veterinarian. The vet that we use is called Fifth Avenue Vet, and it's Fifth Avenue because they are a little bit pricey side, but anyway, it's worth it. But I'm gonna see if maybe they'll sponsor. So yeah,
Oh, that's a good idea. Sure. Yeah,
but,
because even cover bands, I remember I used to book bands, and you get a cover band to come in and play for $800 for the night and a bunch
yeah,
of beer.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Oh,
I'm
by the
pretty
way,
sure.
you might want to remind your followers that we're having the Orangeville Jazz and Blues Festival, and on the Sunday is going to be the Blues and Bikes. So I think the one year we had like about 100 bikes. Of course, I'm the only one with a scooter and sidecar, but Austin is the biggest hit. Like everybody, they walk away from the other bikes and they come look at him. So, and I'm gonna do some fundraising there too, guy. I always have a SPCA box that I bring with me. So, but because he's probably raised just this year alone, because I think the last one just for May was $385, and there's still more to be counted out, and probably totally about maybe $2,500 so far. So,
So how do
yeah,
you raise money with just yourself? You just go to different events and have the
yep,
box?
yep.
Oh,
And also, too, what I've done in the past is we would have I got who was it? Home Depot. They gave me a free gift, and it was actually for Halloween. So we raffled it off,
right.
and plus we had Northern Telecom raffle. So there was a lot of money there. I think there's about $200 there. you know, so it just keeps adding up. Oh yeah, and then plus we at the international motorcycle show, they gave us a free booth there, so they didn't charge us because it was for a charitable donation. So I think we made almost $200 there. So yeah, it adds up. So
That, yeah, man, that's really cool. And you just took it upon yourself to help out the SPCA, yeah?
yeah, yeah. Well, I think it all started with Jamie Ferris because he got me into the community stuff. Like, you know, we went out when they had the Quest Riders. We actually did fundraising for Autism Speaks.
Right?
That alone was $11,000. And then we do, you know, for the food bank, we did that a few times. And although I missed it this year because I didn't know they were doing it. So because it was no longer the Quest Riders, right? So, but
Oh,
yeah.
were there a riding club in the area?
Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah.
is, and they've actually raised, I think, and in the all the years that they've done, they've raised about $1 million for Sick Kids Hospital. So
Wow, man, that's a big hit.
yeah, yeah,
That's a
yeah,
really big hit. And when
yeah.
did they dissolve or they change their name?
Well, they dissolved, and because of him passing away, right? So,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, so that's why. So, yeah, but
That's
he's always in our hearts, and you know. So anyway,
absolutely, man.
yeah,
No, I love that's why I love covering the riding clubs around because they're every one of them is doing something for this whatever city they happen to be in, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I find more and more MCs are starting to catch that vibe too,
Oh
which
yeah,
is
oh
good to
yeah,
see. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
You know, not all bikers are sons of anarchy on TV.
Yeah, I know, I know. Oh, like that movie, like the new movie coming out.
Yeah, yeah. What's that one called? The Riders, the Bike Riders.
Yeah, the bike riders. Yeah,
Yeah, and I think
like
it's based loosely about a club I might know a little something about.
probably more like the more violent, the wild ones.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And you know, back in the day when I was getting into the club life, we all watched the Wild Ones at least once.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And every old spaghetti western by Clint Eastwood because they got all the one-liners.
Yeah, oh yeah. I love Clint Eastwood,
Oh,
but
it's easy, especially
yeah.
that genre he was in, man. He was classic back then. Diet
That's
ain't
not.
much of a living.
It's funny because that's another thing I'm going to be approaching is for a children's television show with Austin the Sidecar Dog, right? So I'm going to give it a shot, and then I thought, you know what? Maybe Disney is next, live action. I don't know. I've got dreams, right? So
Well, you may as well dream big because
yeah,
what else is there to do?
yeah, yeah.
You know what I
I'm
mean?
retired, so I, you know, between cooking and writing, that's all I do. So
Yeah, man. Well, those are two good hobbies. And like I
yeah,
say, you get around. You don't just stay in Orangeville on the weekly rides either, do you? Yeah, I've seen you
no.
post up from Newmarket and stuff like that. I think.
Actually, another ride I'm going to is in Toronto. It's called the Back Alley Scooter Rally, and it's to raise money for a charitable donation. I can't remember what it's for now, but so I'm going to be going down. That's coming up June or July. I think no, it's July, and the only thing is could be a little bit of a problem there because there's three areas where because they you know they go all the areas where there's all graffiti on the walls and stuff like that, and they said you won't be able to fit unless you've got just a single Vespa. So but
No,
yeah, and
you
you
have
know
to
what,
wait around the corner.
yeah, that's exactly, and I got earbuds, so which I never had last year, that's why I got lost, but now I got earbuds. But you're not going to believe this, so none of the Vespa Club members at all has a sidecar. None of them. And they went, they drove, they went to, it's called World Canada Vespa Days. And you should, if you saw the video, it's just like out of this world. They had 5,000 Vespas. They're a mile and a half long of Vespas and, you know, and not one sidecar.
Wow. And I would have never thought there's that many Vespas in Canada.
uh, well, there's, I don't know how many there are, probably not a huge amount. Um, but then they also have a Vespa Club of Victoria. They got a Toronto vintage motorcycle group. So they drive just vintage, either Vespa or whatever. So, and there's a group in Ottawa. There's also the Toronto, not Toronto, sorry, Vancouver Vespa Club, and because we're actually moving out to Victoria, BC, probably sometime next year, middle of the year or something like that. Because
Oh,
my son,
Orangeville is gonna miss you.
oh yeah, well, we miss our 5-year-old grandson, and yes, he did ride with me once. I wasn't supposed to do it, but his mother went out of the house, and my wife went, and so I says, I told my son-in-law, he's with the Royal Canadian Navy. I says, this was before they moved out there, and I says, I'm just gonna get a picture of Dane, right? So I put him in there, and I said, heck with this. I'm going to. So I took him for a short ride around the block a few times, and went and visited a friend of mine. And then I said, don't tell mommy, because mommy's gonna give Papa heck. And he said, what do you mean heck? I says, she's going to yell at me. Okay. So, and he said, oh, okay, Papa, I won't say anything. So he gets back. Oh, hey, Dane, how was your day? Oh, Papa took me out for a scooter in a sidecar. And she started
Okay.
getting mad at me. I said, no, 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 he's mistaken. I only took a picture of him in it.
How do you like it?
Oh, he loved it. I even bought him a helmet, and he's waving at everybody. So yeah.
Well, I gotta admit, I think of and any photos I've ever seen of any Vespa or any sort of, I've never seen one with a sidecar.
No, no, no.
Like I think you found the unicorn.
Yeah, yeah. Except that one in Brampton. So and I haven't actually seen it. I just have pictures of it. So
Get photos of it. And
yeah,
like you say, I know a guy here in London. He makes them, but I think he makes them more for a hobby. You know what I
yeah.
mean? He's a retired guy, and he's paralyzed, so he made one to hold his Harley up, and then he's
Oh,
moved all the controls onto the handlebars for
oh,
himself,
really?
right?
Okay.
And that's how he rides.
Yeah. Well, do
Really,
you know
really
that?
cool guy.
So I'm like I mentioned, I'm a member of the Headwaters Vintage Motorcycle Group, right? And one guy's got two 1920 Harley Davidsons, and
Cool.
in fact, there's a episode of Murdoch Mysteries, and it's about Harley meeting Davidson, and how they created the Harley Davidson, and they were you could see like the guy that plays Murdoch, who's a detective, of course. Him and his wife are actually riding on these things, and then she comes back and she says, "What'd she say?" She says, "Oh, she said I developed a clothing line that's more protective, because what we're wearing is, because he'd wear a suit and a tie on his, right? So, so she comes out and she's got leathers on, right? And says, and what do you think? She says, do I look a little, do I look a little devilish? And he says, yeah. He says, like a Hell's Angel. so, so anyway, this guy's motorcycles were actually featured in the movie, and they paid him
Oh,
$500. But and another guy actually has, you're not going to believe this, he has a three-wheeler Morgan, 1937.
wow. So that's one of the ones that they used for World War II. Or
No,
did they
no,
just
no, it's
build them
Morgan.
like
It's a
that?
car. So the front of it is a car. It's got a steering
Oh,
wheel, but it's only a one-wheeler in the back, right? So it's like the precursor to a Spider.
well, yeah, because in England, they have little thing. I can't remember what they're called. And
Yeah,
you open the front window and you move the steering wheel out of the way and you jump in, but it's a motorcycle.
yeah. No,
Pushing
no.
car.
This one actually you steer with a steering wheel.
Right.
And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you can sit you have a passenger in the side, right? So
That's pretty
it
cool.
that is absolutely gorgeous. Like, oh, he could sell that thing. He says I could go to Britain right now and probably sell that thing for about 60,000 pounds. So
Right. So you're doubling up,
yeah, yeah.
doubling
So
plus. When
yeah.
I was in high school, one of my very good friends, his grandfather in a town called Otterville down by Tilsonburg, had a whole barn full of classics, like stuff from, and it wasn't only Harleys, he had stuff from Russia, stuff from Britain, and all these different things. And yeah, but over life, who knows where all these bikes went. But yeah, man, that guy had all sorts of cool stuff. And he had a couple of World War II ones with sidecars on them. Because
you know,
the sidecar is not that common.
last time, actually, the last time I was in London, do you
Mhm.
know John Rowlands?
No, not offhand.
Oh, he used to be a reporter for the Globe and Mail, but I went and saw him, and I'm trying to remember the other guy's name now. But anyway, he had a book out. It was called Promo Man, and he got all these bands that started as back in the day, and really good stories in there, like some stuff that you've never known about the Stones and the drugs and all that kind of stuff, and but in fact, he was the first one promoter to actually get Alice Cooper here, and he started with Rush when they were just like going to, they played in the high schools, right? So
Yeah,
yeah, and the stories are just out of this world, right? So it's called Promo Man, but
I got to check that out.
oh yeah, you got to check it out. You can it's on Amazon, I believe. Yeah.
See, when I went to college here in London, and I ran for student executive council and won, and I was the vice president of entertainment, which meant that I planned all the pubs, I booked the bands, I did all that. Well, we had a full time man that worked for us, and he used to be BTO's road manager. So he knew Randy Bachman. He knew the whole band, right? He was a road manager.
Yeah. No, jeez.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was a cool guy.
Oh, he is. And yeah, because actually, when I saw Randy Bachman it was Randy and Tal Bachman, and you know what is a really good show. Like he jokes around with the people,
Mhm.
and he says before you go in, you write a song on and put it into a hat that you want to see him play. Right? Some people were bringing up disco songs. So his was that his son? Yeah, Tal Bachman. That's his son, I think. Yeah. And so he said, well, I can try and play that and sing it. I'll make up some words or something. It was hilarious. But
When you see him play, that guitar is like an extension of his body, isn't
oh
it?
yeah, 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 yeah.
That man can play. Wow.
So
Him and I kind of butted heads after the show. We hosted him at a bar here in London that's now
oh
gone because all the good live music bars are gone now.
yeah,
It's kind of depressing, isn't it? In a way, it's like, where'd they go?
yeah.
It's like downtown our city, you could go, one bar would be a punk bar, go around the corner and catch a blues act, and you go down the street and you see a rock show.
Oh, you're talking basically the London version of St. George Street in Newfoundland.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah, it's bar upon bar upon bar upon bar. So the first time I went down there, like there was nothing in between. It was just all bars, right? So actually, I rode a scooter in Newfoundland because one of the Vespa Club of Canada members, she actually lives in Newfoundland,
Oh,
and she had a picture of her daughter was on a Vespa. And I says, "Oh, can we rent one when we go down there?" And she says, "Oh, you don't have to rent one." She says, "I've got two of them." And she says, your wife can take the one. I said, "No, she doesn't ride." She said, "Well, I'll take her on the back of mine, and you can borrow mine." So I actually gave her my cookbook, and so anyway, and she says, uh, "Who else? Oh, what was that one chef that committed suicide? What's his name again? I can't remember
Anthony
offhand."
Bourdain.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I love that guy.
She actually has a signed book by him. They actually had his picture up in the place. But so yeah, so we rode around on that, and that was absolutely awesome. And that was the first time I had to ride a Vespa without three wheels. So, but it took me a bit to get
You
used to
actually
it.
had to try.
Oh yeah. Well, the only thing was with that one, I found it like if I want to do a left on a curve or a turn, I like mine will turn on a dime. I literally couldn't, this one
Yeah.
it's like it tended to want to go straight a little bit, so it took me a while to get used to it, but it was a fun ride. Anyway, it was only a 50cc, but now she actually conducts tours. So now she's got four of them. They all have Italian names. She names them all of them like Aldo and whatever. So, and then she finally also got herself two 150cc. She's still waiting for a sidecar yet, but I hope she got her license by now. But anyway, so but,
I'm on a couple Newfoundland motorcycle groups. That's where I get my content from, right? I join as
yeah,
many different groups across the Canada as I can. and then I pick the events out of them,
Yeah.
and then I make my shows. But they're just bringing out their bikes now. I wonder how short their summer is out there on the Rock, eh? Because they're being right there on the North Atlantic.
Not very. That's why Victoria, BC is going to be nice, because when we went there, it was like 18 degrees. Well, no, it wasn't. It was raining a lot. But when we got there, we brought Orangeville weather with us because it was 20 degrees when we got up there. And everybody says, "Oh, you brought some nice weather back from Ontario." I says, "Yeah, we did." And then, so while we're up there, it was 18 degrees, and then we got snow here. So, but I've actually taken the thing out in January, like when it gets up to like 9 degrees. So I actually have been out where you see snow on, piled up like about a foot and a half high, but the roads were clean. So
Yeah, because you guys are a little bit more north. You're like
yeah,
what, 45 minutes north of Mississauga? Is that right?
yeah, roughly. I used to work in
Yeah,
Mississauga. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I got lots of family in Mississauga. That was where I spent most of my summers as a kid at my grandma's.
Well, next, if you're ever riding down this way sometime, we got to hook up.
100%. Yeah, yeah. I'd love to meet you in person. Now,
Yeah,
we were talking another time about, which seems we're on the music thing, but that seems to be a very common thread you and I have with each
yeah.
other. You were mentioning a bunch of artists that what they contributed to your book, or is that was talking about your cookbook?
No, that was my cookbook.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I did was I developed it just with the bands. That's all. I used to play with bands. I used to play with about few different, maybe three different bands back in the day. I was going to get one started up this year, but I had a bass player was interested. Um, I was looking actually for a singer that could sing more of the high notes, because I have a type of, let's put it this way. I do a great Steppenwolf, and I can do a great Louis Armstrong. Like my father was the same way. So
Low
um,
and gravelly.
yeah, it was funny because we were in Niagara Falls once, and it was on video, like on the street, right? So I started saying, "What a wonderful world!" This one guy turned around and he says, "Hey, you are the whitest Louis Armstrong I've ever seen," and I
Did
got a
you ever,
standing ovation. So
did you ever wander down to Port Dover for those Friday the 13th runs?
hell no.
It's out of your range.
Uh, well, how far is Port Dover from here?
Probably be similar to Niagara Falls, but you hit Niagara Falls and then you go west for
Yeah,
what, 40 minutes,
yeah,
45 minutes. It'd be a
yeah.
long ride. It'd take you all
Oh yeah,
day.
yeah. Well, it was like the one ride the guys went on. I was invited. Oh, actually, it's supposed to be Newmarket Bike Nights, and they were supposed to be meeting. They were meeting at uh, something burger on Highway 89.
So they meet at
And
Harvey's?
no, it's not a Harvey's.
Okay.
Not Bob's Burgers. What's it called? I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, it's right in Shelburne, and so he says, "Wayne, are you going to join us?" I said, "I'd love to, but because I think it was an hour and a half. They were going to leave at 5, and they were going to get over to Newmarket, and so I think it was going to be like an hour and a half ride or something like that." And I says, "Well, an hour and a half ride for you, more like 4 hours for me."
Right, right.
So,
And
but
what are you guys gonna do? Wait for me at every stop?
and that's what happened with the Jamie Bears ride. I let everybody go in front of me, and I got stuck at a stoplight. I wouldn't be able to keep up with them anyway, so I ended up 20 minutes late, but I got there. So
You got there. No, man, that's really cool. Like I say, as soon as I saw you on Facebook, I'm like, I need to talk to that guy. And then you told me about your kid's book, and I went, well, now I really got to talk to that guy, right?
I'm
Yeah,
having fun. I have fun with life. So
good, man. Good, good. That's what it's supposed to be. Especially, like you say, you got to retire. So you've done your work crap.
yep, yep,
You've
yep,
done the grind. I'm
yeah,
still grinding it out, unfortunately.
yeah. And I'm young at heart and young in mind. Body maybe not so much, but
That's how I'm starting to feel like, what
not
happened?
bad, not bad for 68-year-old, I guess.
Ah, good for you, brother. That's so cool. All right, man. Well, what else did you want to mention? Do we have more
No,
stuff?
no, that's about it. I don't really can't really think of too much, and just and you know what? If you're not around the area, support your local SPCA. That's all I want to say is just look, and it doesn't make any difference if Orangeville, just do that.
Wherever
So
you're at, man. No,
yeah,
I agree. I agree. Like you say, anything I see out there that's a ride to help Humane Society, SPCA, whatever you want to call it, I make sure I promote as much as I can, right? Can't
yeah,
go crazy, but
yeah.
yeah. No, see, we rolled through an hour like naturally. That was wonderful.
It was.
I,
You know
I, I
what?
thought, go ahead.
This this is a real fun interview. I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, man, like you say, we just rolled through an hour, brother, like we've known each other for 10 years.
Yeah. And you know how much I think, how much I think about my dog. Uh,
You got him.
I got that one there. Uh, which one? There he is.
There he is. Yep.
There's that one, and then I got his paw,
Nice.
and then I got this one,
Holy moly. That one's beautiful, eh?
and
What a great job.
one from his book.
Beautiful.
And
I think,
Rui Costa does it for me. He's in town. He used to be he's one of the riders, the Quest riders. So yeah, so he's really good.
see,
I
I
never
had
even
it.
like my wife was actually the first one to get tattoos, and I said, "Why are you doing that? Like you shouldn't do that. Like that's you're wrecking up your skin and all this kind of stuff." So she got two, and then look what got started now. So I
Yeah.
went from one to four.
And they're and, and they're
Probably no
they're
more though.
addictive, right? See, I've got one. Can you see the silhouette there?
Oh, that's cool.
It's Elvis.
Oh, really? Oh, that is
Yeah.
cool.
See the two eyes? One
Oh,
eye
yeah.
and the
Oh,
other eye.
that's really
It-
cool.
so I had a dog back in the day. His name was Elvis. And then that's a tattoo for yeah. Yeah, man. You have to. And see, now I have 3 dogs. So there's me, my son, and my daughter, and we each have our own dog.
Yeah. Oh,
So
that's cool.
I've got a 3-dog circus in my house.
Yeah. Somebody says, "Why don't you put Stella's name on there?" I says, "Well, what happens if say like you just get divorced or something like that?" I says, "Well, Stella is also the scooter." So
And it's a beer. But
no,
every
that never
tattoo
happened.
guy, when you're a young guy and you want to put your girlfriend's name on you, every tattoo guy will tell you not to.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So
I think at our age, it's a foregone conclusion. But no, Wayne, it was such a pleasure to talk to you, brother. But I think if you're okay with it, I wouldn't mind wrapping it up. I'm gonna make some supper
sure.
for me and my son
Yep,
and stuff. And
yep,
and
yep,
and,
yep.
and man, I really, really enjoyed this. I hope you did too.
Yeah, and I want to really thank you so much for wanting to do this. I was flabbergasted when you asked me. So
You're my second interview, brother.
cool.
So
Wayne's
that's
World, Wayne's
great.
World, party every
I
day.
I appreciate your time, man. I really do.
Okay.
And I hope that you when you get to Victoria, the
Yep.
internet's here, so we can stay in touch. But hopefully this summer I'll find a weekend and I'll get up your way and we can meet in person.
That's awesome. That's
Uh,
awesome.
yeah, man. I got 2
Party on,
wheels.
Bob.
All right, my friend. I thank you again, and good luck and success with your books too.
Okay. Take
Okay.
care. Thanks a
All right.
lot.
Thank you
Bye.
again.
Okay.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.